Hello everybody, this will be my spoiler review for Spider-Man No Way Home. So if you haven't watched the movie, I recommend you go and watch the movie first and then come back to this video. If you still want to watch the video, you can still also do that. There will be a lot of spoilers in this video, just to give you a heads up. So let's get to it. Very excited to talk about this movie. And let's start with the Spider-Man comics because this movie there's very interesting big moments in the stories of Spider-Man in the comics, like his identity reveal, having his relationship with MJ erased. Those are big moments in the Spider-Man comics, and they use those basic elements in this movie to set up this Peter Parker for his next trilogy, because we know we are getting another Spider-Man trilogy with Tom Holland. But not only that, I think they want to this Spider-Man finally fly solo and not have the help of the NCU. Like in the Spider-Man Homecoming, he had Tony Stark, Iron Man. In Spider-Man Far From Home, he had Nick Fury and his team. And yes, in this movie, he has some helps with Angie and Ned, and also Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, the other two Spider-Mans. But I think for his next trilogy, there are going to be a lot of focus on him and being and doing all of the of his things without his team or any NCU character help. So what I love about this movie is, and we'll get to Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in just a moment, is that we having Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, it still feels like a Peter Parker story. It still feels Tom Holland's story. And that's what I like about this movie. He's still front and center in this movie. And I think that yes, the movie has fan service, but I think they handled that very well. And it was very, it fit with the story that they wanted to tell in this movie. And the villains, I think the villains were fantastic. I think that, in my opinion, I think they were even better, and that's very hard to say because, especially uh, Doc Ock, Dr. Octavius, he was phenomenal in Spider-Man 2, but I think I like him even better in this movie. And the same goes with Willem Dafoe and as Green Goblin and Jamie Foxx as Electro. And the other two characters, Sandman and the Lizard. I think the Lizard was very good in this movie, but Sandman, I prefer the Sandman of the Spider-Man 3 movie instead of this one. I think the Sandman and the Lizard didn't give they didn't have like big moments like Green Goblin, Doctor Octopus, and Electro have in this movie. And I think the they hurt those characters a little bit, but I think all of these villains combined work very well. And I like the scene where Peter Parker goes to Happy apartment and brings all the villains with him to try and kill them. Now, I don't know about killing the villains and taking their powers away. I think that I didn't like that very much, and I like that they're trying to help them and really be and trying to turn them into good guys, but to take off the powers of all the villains, especially Electro. I mean, uh, I didn't like that very much. But no, it was very weird that we only get to see five villains instead of the Sinister Six, which just you can one more villains and you will have that Sinister Six. But Sony is also working on a Sinister Six movie. It's very early in development, so we will have to wait and see the, if they actually uh, do that and having that synesthesis with the Sony's character, maybe Venom, Morbius, and maybe bringing some other villains like Vulture, Scorpion, and all of that. So we have to wait and see. Now let's talk about Andrew and Tobey. Now it was indeed exciting when Ned opened the portal with the ring of Doctor Strange, and we see Andrew Garfield. And I like how they did that because he was in the alley and he's starting to look around, and then he's come running and jumping out of the portal. And then they do the same thing with Tobey Maguire, and I love those conversations and the moments they have. And I think that was brilliantly well done because I didn't want to have them in just a big action scene and then open a portal and here's the two Spider-Mans. I prefer this way. This way it was much better. Now they look fantastic with the Spider-Man suits, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. It was just the theater when I was watching the movie. Just you can feel the excitement to have these actors come back to play Spider-Mans. Now I really love when Andrew Garfield caught NJ, and he was reminded of Gwen Stacy, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And MJ said, "Yes. Are you okay?" And the look on Andrew Garfield's face, I mean, the feeling of the loss of Gwen Stacy, it was quite moving, and it was a touching scene. I really, very emotional. Now, it was interesting to see that each Spider-Man is a bit different, and they deal with things very differently, like Tobey Maguire, and when he managed to settle down for a bit with Mary Jane, I suppose. And then you get the story with Andrew Garfield when he lost Gwen, and then he started to not hold his punching with the bad guys. He was in a very dark place, like he said. And I think that that was very interesting because we have three Spider-Mans, but each Spider-Man is quite differently, and I like that so much. Now, I think that I love the action scenes with the three Spider-Mans, but I mean the what really worked for me so much was the dialogue between them. Those conversations are the really fun and exciting things of, of having these Spider-Mans in the movie. They did the pointing meme where when there was the in the science and they say Peter and everyone's and they say you Peter, which Peter? And that was fantastic. It was, yes, a little bit of a fan service, but it was very, they did that so well, and it was perfect in context with the scene. and and also they talk about the organic web shooter, the Tobey Maguire has that, and versus the mechanics web shooters of Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield, and that was perfect to see that. And it was those conversations really make sense. They why your web shooters come from your body. So it was very good to see that. Now I had to say that Kristen Dunst, who plays Mary Jane, and Emma Stone, who play Gwen Stacy, there was both of those actors was supposed to be in this movie, but what the situation around the world and all of those things made that really difficult, so they couldn't have them in the movie. And I think that really have an impact in this movie in terms of the making the movie. And I think that's why you see also some a lot of scenes that when they are talking, they're like a closed room and there are only just a few people in it. And I think that because of the restriction of they now have in terms of filming things. Now, Doctor Strange. I like having the Doctor Strange aspect in this movie because it kind of connects to the MCU, but they also give us cool fight scenes and how smart Peter Parker was doing those scenes. And I think that it also what like about this, it also set up the team element of Peter Parker working with his best friends NJ and Ned. Let's talk about Matt Murdock. Now, it was wonderful to see Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock again. Now, it was very brief, just one scene, but I mean, it was phenomenal to see him. And I'm very excited because I know he's coming in the She-Hulk series, and he could be also appearing in the Echo series, and then eventually he's going to get his own Disney Plus series. But I mean, I like these scenes so much because yes, he cut the break. It was fun to see that, but he also really gave Peter Parker great legal advice. So it was the best Matt Murdock in this scene. He really make the scene, the little time that he have in this movie, uh, to the best of his ability. Now let's talk about Aunt May and Marisa Tomei, Oscar-winning actress. She did a great job. Eh, this was a her that scene was a very emotional scene and a very important for this Peter Parker story. And it was just he, she believed that these villains can be saved. It was important to help them, and it was so nice that at the end they did that, and Peter Parker knows that she really did have a impact on the people that she did help. And it was a very emotional scene, but it was very heartbreaking to see that, and the emotion of Peter Parker's in that scene. It was a very dark place, and this changed Peter Parker for forever. Especially when he tries then at the end to kill the Green Goblin, and then Tobey Maguire steps in order to not let Tom Holland Peter Parker go on this dark path. It was brilliant, brilliant writing from this movie. Now there's also and I love the she has the that great line we and May have the line of great power comes great responsibility, and she was the Uncle Ben in this Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy. And I think that also in a way after she died in the movie, I think that the other Spider-Man, especially Tobey Maguire, eh, being the more experienced one and the more mature one, takes that place of Uncle Ben in this movie. And it was just really wonderful to see. Now we have a big Miles Morales shout out from Electro, and it was just so great that he think that Peter Parker was black because of he he's from Queens, and he said he's safe poor people, and it, it was just so great. And we are going to get the Miles Morales live action very soon. I think maybe from the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland, or after they finish the Into the Spider-Man trilogy, the animated movies one. But he's coming. He's coming very soon. Also, I had to say that some things didn't make sense in this movie because so Electro and Venom didn't know Peter Parker was Spider-Man. So how they end up in this universe, because only the people who know Peter Parker was Spider-Man was supposed to end up in this universe. So it was quite weird. I know the Venom maybe because they are symbiotes and they are connected maybe with the Venom way of Spider-Man 3, but some things that didn't make sense. Now let's talk about the amazing bridge scene. That bridge scene was amazing. Dr. Octopus, he at the top of his A game. It was wonderful shot, and you can feel the tension between them. And I really love the great the apartment fight scene also, and it was funny that They had a couple of lines, especially when Electro tells Doctor Octopus that uh, he prefers the way Doctor Octopus was before, with now being a good guy. So it was just wonderful stuff, and I love the Peter and MJ's love. Now MJ is confirmed as Michelle Jones Watson, and I think I like that she wanted to be part of the decisions that the Spider-Mans make that really are life choices. So I really like that interesting dialogue between them. And this movie has fantastic moments across the board. I really love the moment that Peter Parker was working with NJ and Ned to capture the villains, and they were helping him, and he has this cell phone strapped to his chest. Really, really great stuff here. But I think that this movie is incredible. It truly is. It's just I walk off watching this movie with just so much excitement, joy, and very emotions coming to me. And what I really love about this movie captures Spider-Man, and it gives him time to shine. And it was an emotional journey for sure. And the villains were fantastic. And I think this is my favorite MCU movie so far. This is my new favorite MCU movie. So that's my spoiler review for Spider-Man No Way Home. And yes, I'm going to talk about later about those two post-credit scenes. We got Doctor Strange coming out, Black Panther, Thor: Love and Thunder. So let me know in the comments below what do you think about the movie. Let me know your favorite scenes, your favorite moments, and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and consider subscribe to the channel. So thank you for watching. Bye bye.